After Max Verstappen won the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix last year, things began changing for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton took the fall because of a safety car, leading to a series of controversies that is here to stay as the biggest one yet in the history of the Formula One World Championship. Today we'll look at all the reasons why Lewis Hamilton lost the championship, so stick with us till the end. Lewis Hamilton was the undisputed champion, winning over 7 world championships, and it was clear that he would take this one too. The chances were up to 99% and nothing was stopping him. But all the time Max was right behind him, and these were close calls. Now only Nico Rosberg could come this close to Lewis Hamilton apart from Max Verstappen. But the outcome was sure. Lewis was going to win the championship, but the safety car intervening in the final lap changed the whole course, allowing Verstappen to advance through. Almost everyone in the audience and the course believed that it was luck, but Christian Horner brought this bad luck to our attention. This was Verstappen suffering a tire failure back in the early races in Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where Sergio Perez won the Grand Prix. Red Bull has been strong all along with the matches, and the race was quiet and adrenaline rush for the viewers as well. In the British Grand Prix, Hamilton hit Verstappen's tire, sending him crashing off course. There were instances when they both got penalties, but that didn't shake their spirit. Sergio Perez might have played a role in Verstappen winning, as we could see him defending his spot from Hamilton, slowing Hamilton at the race. Then at the Hungarian Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas tackled Verstappen out with a hit that caused huge damage to the right-hand side of his car that made him finish in the 9th position. In the Italian Grand Prix, both the protagonist Hamilton and Verstappen took each other out of the race course. After the race marshals decided this was Verstappen's fault and he got a grip penalty for the next race. This led to a minor argument with a sort of blame game panning out from this incident. Lewis Hamilton did make a lot of mistakes over the races, and in the Russian Grand Prix, he pushed himself out towards the wall, but it could also be the Russian weather affecting the race course. And Lewis Hamilton was disqualified from Friday's qualifying sessions at the Brazilian Grand Prix after a technical infringement by Mercedes in the latest blow to the British driver's defense of his Formula One title. But the FIA also fined Max Verstappen €50,000 for touching Lewis Hamilton's car, as Max was accused of making the car illegal by touching the rear wing. Now, had he not had these mishaps in his previous races, he would have already won the championship long before the race at Abu Dhabi. But Verstappen had a good race strategy during the turns. While Lewis would make a curved turn, Verstappen makes a sharp turn without losing too much momentum. Well, he was aggressive on some occasions where we could hear Lewis disappointed at what happened. Aggressive racing is okay as long as it is in the FIA's regulations, and it seems like Verstappen knows the limits. There were instances where they both got penalties, but they didn't shake their spirit. Sergio Perez might have played a role in Verstappen winning, as we could see him defending his spot from Hamilton, slowing Hamilton down at the apex. We all know that Mercedes is a superior engine and inherently faster, but the Red Bull driver Sergio Perez slowed Hamilton so much that Verstappen could follow Lewis again. Max Verstappen admits that Sergio Perez played a huge role in his success, and he was rightfully thankful, calling him a legend, where his engineers replied to him by saying absolute animal. And Sergio Perez also admitted, "I'm sure Lewis will understand, as a driver, you don't want to get involved in their championship. They've worked so hard for it to be in this moment, but it's my team. I've done it for my team, and I'm sure the sport and everyone will understand it." In the last moment, Verstappen was 17 seconds behind with 20 laps to go, and he had to pace up to catch him. But Lewis wasn't slowing down. With Lewis way ahead, we all knew that Lewis would win the season again. Verstappen was still about 12 seconds behind Lewis. That was around when Latifi hit the barrier at turn 14, and this was the moment when things would turn in Verstappen's favor. Safety car was on track, and it took a few laps to clean up the mess. Meanwhile, cars between Lewis and Max may overtake safety car to unlap themselves. Now, none of the cars behind Verstappen were allowed through. The safety car quickly moved into the pit stop when it should have waited for a lap, and this was a very unusual, but maybe the FIA wanted to have a final lap shootout. Maybe the FIA wanted Lewis and Verstappen to fight for the position wheel, but the rules were bent and Verstappen got an entry to second position, and at turn 4 he overtook Hamilton by surprise. This was now the endgame as they were battling for a few corners. Things were so close and everything was uncertain now. Lewis and Verstappen both had an upper hand. On the last turn, he yet again made an aggressive move, which was something Lewis wouldn't have expected, at the last turn overtaking Lewis and winning the race. The safety car wasn't Verstappen's fault, and he is the deserving winner of the Grand Prix. We can all rule that out as an unfortunate event, received by Lewis at the most crucial moment of the race. So this was the whole championship at a glance. Mercedes protest. Now after the race, Mercedes claimed that Verstappen overtook car 44 during the safety car period in the breach of Article 48.8 of the 2021 Formula 1 sporting regulations. But the stewards denied the protest after assessments, saying that the car 33 did at one stage for a very short period move slightly in front of car 44 at a time when both the cars were braking and accelerating. It moved behind car 44, not in front when the safety car period ended. That, although Article 48.12 may not have been applied fully in relation to the safety car returning to the pits at the end of the following lap. Article 48.13 overrides that, and once the message safety car in this lap has been displayed, it is mandatory to withdraw the safety car at the end of that lap. That protest was then criticized by Red Bull, who said that Mercedes seemed desperate. Ending a great session on this note is painful for Verstappen, as it was his first world championship. Now, no one wants to see a world championship end like this. Hamilton might have lost faith in the system as the stewards did what they wanted to do. The sporting rules this time weren't consistent. Rules and regulations should be equal for every driver and team. There were so many issues with rules and regulations in that season, which made it seem like after Hamilton's years of dominating the race course, the stewards couldn't properly handle the intense races they had that year, which led to poor judgment and leading to inconsistency in the rules. But we have a winner now, and it all depends upon this year's championship if Verstappen can defend his title. Anyway, Max is making efforts to diminish the rivalry. Verstappen said, "You can't have that drama every single year for sure. It's not good for me, it's not healthy for anyone in the team, both teams." Verstappen has a bright future ahead of him now, believing that he can dominate the championship for many years to come. He said, "That little pressure in the back of your mind of having to win a world championship or trying to win it has gone," suggesting that it is much normal now and he's not stressed and would deal with it in a much easier way than normal. On the other hand, Stefano Domenicali wants this competition to stay. In fact, he wants more drivers to have this rivalry on the racetrack, and we all hope that the FIA does not make a mess this year. And with this, we come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell to not miss any new uploads from us. Comment below who you think will win this year's championship, and we'll see you next time.